Adekunle Adebio was born in Ibadan, Oyo State, into a family that believed strongly in education and patience. His parents were not wealthy, but they were disciplined. Like many Nigerian homes, his upbringing was filled with encouragement, warnings, and hope that someday effort would meet reward. Adekunle did everything right, at least by the standards he was taught. He finished secondary school, went to higher education, and graduated with optimism. But after school came the silence. Job applications went unanswered. Interviews led nowhere. Every year felt like standing in a long queue that never moved. Nigeria slowly began to feel like a place where dreams waited indefinitely. When the opportunity to travel abroad appeared, Adekunle did not hesitate. It was not a luxury opportunity. It was not a scholarship. It was a risky route, supported by borrowed money and promises of struggle before stability. He sold personal belongings, leaned on family contributions, and left with the mindset that returning without success was not an option. He arrived in Europe with expectations shaped by stories, not reality. Life abroad was lonely. The weather was harsh. The work was unstable. His qualifications meant little. His accent marked him. His legal status limited him. He moved between temporary jobs, shared housing, and constant anxiety about documentation. Survival replaced ambition. Months turned into years of managing fear. Adekunle watched others progress while he remained stuck. Papers determined everything: work, freedom, dignity. Without them, life felt paused. That pressure shaped his decisions. It was during this vulnerable period that he met Margaret Klein. Margaret was in her late 60s. She was widowed, retired, and financially comfortable. She lived alone in a quiet area and had access to benefits Adekunle could only imagine. Their relationship did not begin dramatically. It grew from routine encounters, familiarity, and convenience. The imbalance between them was obvious. Margaret had stability, citizenship, and control. Adekunle had youth, time, and uncertainty. Over time, companionship turned into dependence. Marriage was suggested not as romance but as a solution. They married legally. The marriage changed Adekunle's life instantly. His immigration status improved. He gained access to work authorization, health care, and legal protection. The fear that followed him daily disappeared. For the first time in years, he slept without anxiety. He sent money home. His family believed he had finally succeeded. In Nigeria, success is often measured by distance traveled and currency earned. Adekunle fit the image. But behind closed doors, the marriage was not equal. Margaret controlled finances, documentation, and decisions. Adekunle became reliant. Gradually, their life revolved around medical appointments. His health records were requested often. Full body tests became frequent. Specialists reviewed his reports. Everything was described as routine. At first, Adekunle did not question it. He trusted the system. He trusted the marriage. Then patterns began to appear. The focus on his health felt excessive. He was healthy, young, and strong, yet repeatedly examined. His blood work was reviewed more than necessary. Doctors he had never met had access to his information. Slowly, he realized that his value within the marriage had shifted. He was no longer just a partner. He was a resource. Margaret had connections to a private medical network that facilitated transplants. Adekunle's biological profile matched what they needed. His body, not his companionship, had become the center of interest. The expectation was clear without being spoken aloud. Organ donation was framed as contribution, sacrifice, and mutual benefit. Financial rewards were implied. Medical safety was emphasized. Adekunle understood the reality. Once he resisted, the environment changed. Support was withdrawn subtly. Financial access reduced. Legal reassurance disappeared. Margaret's cooperation with immigration authorities increased. The same documentation that once protected him became fragile. His residency was reviewed. The process moved quickly. There was no fight for him, no protection, no defense. His marriage dissolved without resistance. Appeals failed. His status was revoked. Adekunle was detained briefly, processed, and scheduled for deportation. The journey back to Nigeria was quiet. No announcements, no explanations. Just the reality of starting over. He landed at Murtala Muhammad International Airport with one small bag. There was no celebration, only questions he did not want to answer. Back home, reintegration was difficult. People measured his return as failure. Some mocked him, others whispered. Few understood the full story, but Adekunle returned with his body intact. He struggled again. He worked again. He rebuilt slowly. Over time, he found peace in the fact that survival is sometimes the real success. Today, Adekunle lives quietly. He avoids shortcuts. He understands power imbalance. He understands desperation. He understands that not every opportunity is a blessing. His story is not shared loudly. It is shared carefully. He left Nigeria chasing stability. He returned choosing life. And sometimes that choice is the greatest achievement of all.